on the street, which is a common saying on Wall Street bets, means you only live once, take chances.
I YOLO'd my account, put about 90% of what I have in Chewy for this option call.
And the caption on this thing was earnings season is coming up. Don't miss out, something to that effect. Earnings season, of course, being a time where you get crazy volatility, good opportunity for making trades and bets and gambling. So they bought into their own image.
Look at you. You always did things your way.
And they have all along, they have a very specific market, a very niche market.
Welcome to the future of investing.
They're not doing this for the dividends. They're not holding these stocks until, they retire. They're playing. The interface has confetti animations when you buy stocks. It's a game. There's no logical reason why they woke up this morning and, this feels like the right move.
So you think what? Do you think they were pressured to do that by somebody else? What are you saying?
I do.
Huh. Well, and I should say then, the Robinhood CEO put out a series of tweets yesterday to users saying point blank, this decision was not made on the direction of any market maker we route to or other market participants. He said it was really about complying with SEC guidelines to reduce risk to their own investors. But it makes me wonder, does the culture of a group like Wall Street Bets, does this kind of crowd change everything about what we're going to see over the next 5 years with this stock market? Like, is there a new breed of trader out there?
The new breed is here. It's already here, right? We're seeing it just now.
Elon Musk tweeted GameStonk. Game over. GameStop to the moon. Listen, you stop selling the stock.
There is a new category, and they're in town, and they're staying in town, and they're a force that is powerful enough to knock out hedge funds, and they've collectively gotten themselves a seat at this very elite poker table.
What is it, the SEC? They're not. What kind of case do they have? We like the stock. We like the stock. I mean, that's the kid where Ryan Cohen got in. He bought 15% at $8. He's on the board. We like the stock.
They want to know if the stock is funny, if the CEO is charismatic, or he's got a Twitter account. That's worth just as much to a company these days as the product that they're selling. Is people becoming meme stocks, and they buy them, and it matters. We had a situation when the pandemic started where people started buying Zoom, the video conferencing company, and lots of people made a mistake and they bought the wrong Zoom because of the ticker symbol didn't add up, and they bought an unrelated company. They shot that price up inadvertently a lot, and the establishment said, "You children, ha ha ha! You don't know what you're doing. You bought the wrong company." Those children that bought the wrong company made more money buying the wrong Zoom than had they bought the correct one. They took their money, they walked away, they said, "You keep laughing at me as much as you want. Let's go buy Hertz that's bankrupt, because that'll probably go up too," right? Like, they're making fun of this whole entire thing, and they're making money, and that's the end game. That speaks much more volume than the way that you got to the end game.
Or like, if you get in low and you get out high, like, that's a profit. It doesn't matter if the company's good or not. And again, I guess you could imagine there are Wall Street traders who think exactly that way too. That said, Jamie, would you want to be one of these guys holding GameStop stock right now, or would you be running for the hills? Like, I'm going to get sued by somebody.
I don't have enough information to call. I'll tell you, I'm not involved in GameStop. I wouldn't be touching these things right now. I haven't for a long time. If I were the moderator on Wall Street Bets, I probably wouldn't recommend you being in these things either. There's no precedent for this. Nothing. I've seen short squeezes before. This is no longer a short squeeze. This is something new.
Right. And as for Robinhood, it's not clear whether they are actually facing issues with the SEC. They've claimed that. They've also reportedly had to open up big lines of credit to support all this additional risk. But even though they're being sued by these users who might have lost money because of these moves yesterday, companies like them usually have pretty wide latitude to make these decisions. We'll see how they wield that latitude today. And Jamie Rogozinski, the man who started this forum to begin with. Thank you.
Yep, not a problem. Thank you for having me.
We talked just yesterday about this other big bet, this one by the Biden administration, that if they can get everyone on board with big sweeping changes to address climate change, it would be an economic driver like we've never seen.
Today, General Motors announced its plans to become completely carbon neutral by 2040. That means changing how their cars are produced and the fuel they use to operate.
But wouldn't you know, yesterday, the day after this big push from the White House, General Motors announces that by 2035, they won't make a single small car that relies on gasoline. As in, every regular-sized car in their lineup is about to be electric. Let's go to Detroit right now. Jamie LaRue is the General Motors beat reporter for the Detroit Free Press. She knows this business inside and out. Jamie, how impactful was this announcement from GM?
Well, the announcement was that General Motors is, and this is very important, they use the word aspiring, to have all their global new light-duty vehicles, that includes full-size pickups and SUVs, to be zero-emission vehicles by 2035.
We're taking actions so that we can eliminate tailpipe emissions by 2035.
That's important because by light duty, they're talking about full-size pickup trucks as well as SUVs.
Yeah, can you explain that to me? So when they say zero emissions, that means what? No gasoline on board at all. This is not a hybrid that we're talking about.
Right. Zero emissions. It means there's no tailpipe. There's no emissions that come from the car. It's not your typical, what people are used to in hybrids, where there's a backup gasoline engine. No, these are fully propelled by either a battery that has to be plugged in and charged, or hydrogen fuel cell. And hydrogen is something that you would replace almost like gasoline.
So then, from where you stand, as somebody who's been watching these companies in Detroit for a long time, how does this plan compare to what you've heard in the past from, Ford and from other companies?
GM's been very ambitious from the get-go.
At General Motors, our vision for the future is a world with zero crashes, zero emissions, and zero congestion. The key to unlock that vision is electrification.
Efficiency is more than our mantra.
But let's remember, GM right now only sells one electric vehicle, and that's the Chevy Bolt.
All electric, all aboard.
Coming at the end of this year will be the next one, which will be the GMC Hummer electric pickup. And, that one's not exactly a volume vehicle at $112,000. So, it's an ambitious target, but they do have a ways to go to make it, a volume play across all their brands for every pocketbook.
I was going to say, I hear skepticism in your voice when you use words like aspirational. What would actually have to happen for this to work? Because 2035, that's 14 years away. What would the roads, what would factories, what would cars have to look like for this to really be a thing where a company just doesn't make those old gas cars anymore?
I don't see it being a complete reality in 5 years. I think you may have more people in electric vehicles in 5 years than you do today, but I don't see that being the dominant vehicle across this country, just because of, first, you've got the infrastructure concerns.
Never thought about driving one, but you still have to plug up. Where are you going to plug it up?
So as part of their plan, General Motors will add close to 3,000 fast chargers across the country by 2025 using renewable energy.
Where are these charging stations, and how are they going to work? Do we have an electrical grid that can support it? Then you've got the price point. And even with a federal tax rebate, a brand new car is expensive to begin with. And a lot of people are being priced out of them even today as we speak.
We see American consumers switching to electric vehicles through rebates and incentives. And the residents of our cities and towns breathing cleaner air and fewer kids living with asthma.
I don't foresee even 5 years from now 50% of the population driving around in EVs. It'll be more than it is today, but I don't see it being a mass play yet.
Again, of course, clearly with the encouragement of this new White House as well. I'm sure that's not incidental in the timing of all this. All right, Jamie LaRue there in Detroit. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.